My name is James Mathis, one of the co-owners of Nolt Mathis Construction Management. We're based here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We are a construction management firm focused almost exclusively on the senior living industry. We renovate existing spaces and build new buildings that are pretty much only in the senior living realm. We do get into some projects outside of senior living, but for the most part, that's our market. That's what we enjoy. Our team has grown in the last 3 years from 2 of us to almost 20 of us, and the revenue has gone similarly.
How would you describe your approach to managing construction projects?
Our approach is we try to tailor it to meet our clients' needs. The nature of our industry is very fast moving. We are planners by nature. All 3 of us in the office that are running jobs are people that like to sit down, draw plans out, be very, very clear about what's happening. When necessary, get into the details with detailed drawings and be very, very communicative about what's happening. The downside of needing to be or keep up with a fast-paced project is details get lost. And so we have good accounting software to manage that. We also have Rayon now that allows us to keep one source of truth for documenting details and the overall floor plan that we need to. Before that would happen, maybe in AutoCAD on somebody's desktop, and then maybe those folks weren't in the office that week, and those drawings would kind of go into the ether. We would reconnect with them on Monday or the following week and try to get those drawings back and keep things moving. But now that we do everything inside of Rayon, one designer could go off sick, or a project manager might get pulled away to something else. And if it's a simple detail that another PM or a super for that matter could handle, they'd be able to hop on Rayon and take care of the problem themselves and communicate, hey, I've updated this file. I just want to let you know. It's really nice to have a single source of truth for our accounting, but it's even nicer to have a single source of truth for our drawings, which is something we were lacking before we had Rayon. A great example, I'm in my truck today, be out and maybe forget my tablet or my computer in a job site trailer, but I need to go take care of something. Someone else might have theirs and allow me to use that and update it immediately. Web-based feature is huge. Our accounting software has that, and now we've seen that same value, rise to the surface with Rayon as well. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
What's your typical process for planning and executing a construction project?
Our customers are unique because we serve a retirement community or a building owner, and the projects that we're working on affect residents similar to homeowners that are moving in. So we kind of have to work in conjunction with them. They have a homeowner or a resident that's moving through the system. When a unit becomes available, like an apartment, we go in immediately and we do a scan of the unit. They're usually 90% quality with a LiDAR camera on our phone. And then immediately after that, we take that PDF file and we lay that into Rayon as a background. We draw over top of it. We add higher levels of detail that you wouldn't catch on a scan, like wall thicknesses, things that we know are true, insulation locations, windows, and accurately create call-outs that help the folks on the ground understand what's happening in that unit. Those drawings are then taken to a resident meeting where they will review them and see what types of changes might need to be made, any updates to small details, perhaps they want to add a pocket door somewhere. And we update the drawing live in that meeting with the resident. After the meeting, there's a lot of little things that need to happen, updating some finished schedules, updating some accounting pieces. And in the interim, we're able to create a set of drawings that's high quality enough to go out to the field. Those drawings make it out to the field at the same time as all of the finished schedules and all of the budgets and all of the purchase orders. They all go out in one nice, neat packet. And I'd love to say that's the end, but there's usually a few hiccups, some things that were overlooked. And the really nice thing is that I can travel to a job site with my computer, with my tablet, go onto the job site, walk the issue with my superintendent or foreman, understand the nature of it, develop a solution, immediately draw it before I leave the job site, publish that to a PDF, text it to them, email it to them, send it to the affected sub-trades. A good example would be a countertop vendor. We recently drew out a kitchen plan, everything made sense, but when we actually looked at the space live after the fact, we realized that there was going to be a crash between a backsplash and a small countertop. And we were able to solve that problem live in person, send that drawing off, fix the problem. And quite frankly, I probably took it for granted because I got back to my office later that evening. I looked at the email where all the, drama and frustration about the situation had occurred and realized just the response with a PDF drawing answered this whole chain of an email. I didn't need to go into detail in writing. It was done. It was solved. I think my email was as simple as, here's the solution, and sent off the drawing. So even after the process is broken down like it usually does in construction, that the ability to quickly answer things visually and communicate to our customers and to our vendors and to our sub-trades is a huge deal. So that's usually and hopefully the end of the process. But turning over a unit at the end, what's nice is we usually provide all of the job documentation, including the drawings, including the changes and updates that happen during the process, all in one nice, neat package, and say, here's your completed work, completed unit, and all of the documentation that goes with it. And that's what a normal process usually looks like for us. So one of the things that we noticed when we started to use Rayon was that we weren't going back into legacy systems like AutoCAD or even Revit. We have subscriptions, active subscriptions for them, and in the process of updating some servers here and updating some of our computers, 3 years after starting, I intentionally logged out of AutoCAD with the intention of checking back in to see have any of the other users that we pay for log in. And time had passed, probably about 2 or 3 months, and it occurred to me that the subscription was coming up here actually in April. So I logged back in to check and realized that nobody had logged back in. That level of precision that I was afraid wouldn't be there with like a web-based solution. I don't know why I had anxiety about that or worry, because it's unnecessary. What we've found is that in our projects, which are primarily design build, but we do engage with architects, we do engage with designers, the level of documentation that we need is more than met by using Rayon. And the expense of, number one, having multiple softwares is unnecessary. And so we will very likely here in the next few days be canceling our Autodesk subscriptions because they've just become unnecessary and redundant. They're also uninviting to go log into and use again. I know there's going to be a tremendous amount of updates. I haven't used it for 3 months, so there's going to be updates. When those updates happen, my styles and all the things that I have built for the last 15 years will be outdated, and I'll need to update those again and fix my blocks and my fills. I'm so used to it, but I'm very happy to get ready to delete it. It's a little bit of a unusual feeling to stop using a software that's such a staple to the industry, but almost entirely unnecessary at this point for our level of documentation. Even on larger projects, sure, the ones where we are engaging with an architect, we've found it's faster for us to take in a PDF or a DXF from the architect, upload that, zoom into the area where we need a detail change, make all of those changes inside of Rayon, and then send it out from there. It's less cumbersome. There isn't as much confusion about which set of drawings we're on. We're drawing outside of the AutoCAD system they're using, so we know what set we're on. And quite frankly, it allows them to also work with us at the same time as drawing, or visually see what we're doing. And we find that if we're in a meeting with an architect or an interior designer, they have a harder time hopping onto their system, making changes and communicating them quickly than we do as the contractor, using Rayon drawing over top of their drawings. Turn their transparency down, draw over top of it with big black lines, a lot of red notes, and we usually have a solution. So yeah, it'll be interesting to delete our Autodesk subscription after all these years. So look forward to it.
Which Rayon features made you decide to start using it for your construction planning and management?
I think early on we liked the idea of something web-based. I don't know if you'd call that a feature or not, but it definitely is for us. The simplest feature in Rayon that has the biggest impact for us is the wall tool. We have used, and we still do for some things when we need it, but we have used SketchUp, Revit, AutoCAD, and all of them are missing a high quality wall tool. I know Revit's got its own version of that, but unfortunately it's really, really, really bulky. I'm just trying to communicate a 4.5-inch wall with insulation. It shouldn't be much more than 2 or 3 clicks to get there. And I remember the first time I used that and built out a room, that was a big deal. The second that's really, really valuable for us is something as simple as dropping doors in. The first time I did it, I realized right away all the little micro moments that I'm going to get back in my day. I'm not going to have to drop a door in, type in trim, drag a line to say what walls to trim, and then go back and fill in the bumps that got trimmed so that I have an area that'll still create a fill. Instead, just hopping onto Rayon, dropping a door in where the owner wants one and changing the hand of the door by just moving to kind of one of the 4 corners. It's a huge deal. That's a huge time saver. I wish I could see a statistic of how much time has how much time has been saved from placing doors in Rayon versus AutoCAD. And I think it's probably enough to justify deleting AutoCAD. Then the third feature that's something we're taking to the next level right now is developing our own template so that our drawings still look like Nolt Mathis drawings, so that our drawings have the appearance and the visual kind of brand identity that our drawings should look like. No matter who draws them inside of our company, I want our customers, and quite frankly for my own sanity, I want everything to look the same. It should have the same title blocks. It should have the same call out font. The line thicknesses on our walls should be the same no matter. And I think that level of consistency, although some of it might just be from a little bit of OCD, that level of consistency has a much bigger payoff, which is that we don't have to have our vendors, trade partners, and owners relearn our style or our drawing types when they receive them. It's this is another Nolt Mathis drawing. This is easy to work with and understand. So we're going through that process right now of building out our templates and trying to standardize how everything looks. Now that everybody's on it, we need to make sure everybody's finished documents.